Good morning. So this morning I'm going to the lab. So this is what I'm wearing. And I bought this top from H&M and this skirt from Temu. It's short, and of course this trainer from Temu, and a jacket from Primark. So here we go. I am currently on my way to take blood tests, and I am taking you along with me. So today I am having two tests. One is gonna be ECG, and the other one is gonna be to take blood sample for different types of blood tests, right? So I'm gonna spend almost half of the day outside because the first appointment is 10:30 a.m. and the second appointment is around 1:30. Before we get right into the story time, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video. By the way, the hair I am wearing is from Silly Hair. Instagram made me buy it. I will still make the full review, but this is buy and wear, no cutting, nothing. So yeah, my boss is here. Yeah, in this episode I am going to share with you what I think is the link between my experience and the revelation, the shocking revelation that came to me, and why I feel like I was chosen as the right person to be a tool to talk about this topic. Okay, so yeah, bear with me. Let me get to my destination because I have to look at the Google map to get to my destination. Then I will find somewhere, sit down, and we'll talk about it. To the hospital where I'm gonna do the test, and thankfully it seems I'm gonna be very early because my appointment is on at 10:30, and now it's 10:07. Okay, so I am happy. I mean, this is not my first time coming to this hospital. I was here during COVID when I did mini surgery under my armpit. This was where I came to receive treatment before they finally locked down. They asked me to be treating myself by myself, which was really scary because I couldn't really dress the wound very well. Anyways, few minutes to get there, so I've got that.
Which is nice.
Yep, there we are. I'm done for ECG. Now I'm going to the clinic where I will do blood tests. That should be another 5 stops away from here. And I have a whole long hours to wait there because it's at 1:05 and currently it's just 11. So long hours to wait. So I am early. I have to wait for about 1 hour 30 minutes before it's my time to get to the clinic for my blood test. So while I'm waiting, I came to this leisure center here to sit around and make video. Basically, it's clear to me why these revelations came to me. By the way, there was another third video that came up apart from these other two that I talked about, and the third video, shockingly, was our dear Tina Turner, which was really very surprising because I couldn't believe that as famous as Tina Turner is or was, she also went through stuff like this. It all linked because I've had very similar experience in my life journey with the previous video that I played in full, and I talked so much on it just simply because I have had an experience on it. The only difference between my own story and that girl's story is because I didn't leave the house by myself, but I was sent out of the house by my mother because she basically got curfew. We are not supposed to be leaving house at a certain time. At this time I was about 20 years old. So I've got a boyfriend then who was a medical doctor. For some reason he's been complaining that whenever she greets my mom doesn't respond. He doesn't know why my mom doesn't like him. So this particular day I came back from school. My school was far away from home, so hours away from home, so I live in school. So this particular day I came back from school and went visiting him. Unfortunately I caught him with another woman, so I angrily left, got back home. So he came looking for me and managed to ask me to come out so he can explain. After some deliberation I went out and I was just sitting right on my street in his car while he was explaining and apologizing and all that. Unfortunately it took time went so fast, and by the time I got back in the house, by the way, the reason why I actually responded to his call was because my mom left to see her friend off, so I was thinking I could easily I could quickly run out, meet him and come back home before my mom gets back. Unfortunately he held me there and my mom got back home before myself, and she was so mad at me, so she asked me to leave the house and follow him. I apologized and apologized. She didn't respond to me. She didn't really agree, so I left and I called him back. He came, picked me up. I asked him to go apologize to my mom on my behalf, so that she can change her mind. Unfortunately he too is scared because my mom doesn't respond when he greets, so he doesn't actually know what to do. Well, at that moment I didn't know what to do as well. At the end of the day I went with him back to his house. Obviously he had sent the girl I saw him with home. We went to his house. He apologized to me and asked me that his house is open, I can come live with him, I can stay with him. Obviously I actually regretted not living with him because by now of course you know what would have happened, exactly what happened to this girl, because well, he cared, he loved me, he was nice, only that he was much more older than I was. But I really wished I stayed with him, but instead I went to my grandmother. She took me in. From there I went back to school and that was it. I stayed in school till I graduated from school, came back home. My mom accused me of stealing from her. I left and I just come and go, but more and more things kept happening from there. Anyway, the journey of my life is something that I never knew that I would ever share. I never wanted to share because it's a long journey and it's twisted. I was raised to believe that family is family. Everything that happened in family should be kept within the family, but unfortunately that's not actually true, because they will be making you to keep things that happened in the family, but at the same time tormenting you. But that does not mean that that is the reason why I don't want to share, but I just simply don't feel comfortable sharing family things in public. But unfortunately it's this story had linked me up to it to share some of it, because this is just a little tiny bit of it. But just know that that girl's story is exactly a life that I have lived, with the exception of the differentiation in the way I left the house and the way she left the house. So I guess the reason why the ball came to my court to address this issue is because I quite understand how much this can impact any child, and I have to address some of it here. Again, the difference is that I didn't actually see what they were doing as they're doing. I was always seeing them as being right about whatever they are complaining about me, obviously, which of course I don't know what it was, because to me I was trying my best to be the best I can every day. But every day, the more I try, the more they are having things to say, complaints over complain, especially when I speak out about how I feel about something. They will call me angry, but inside me I knew I wasn't bitter, I knew I wasn't angry. I was just speaking out how I feel, but I was never listened to. Everything I say, or whenever I voice out opinion or say how I feel, it is assumed as anger. And long story short, I am thankful of the way I handled everything in the sense that I didn't think it deep the way this girl thought it deep. If I had, I would have had a very different life from what I have now. So which is very advantageous, and which is again maybe the reason why I was chosen as a tool to shed light on this issue. So I basically take every complaint that they are dishing out as something that I will work on, and every day, everything they say, I keep on adding it to my life journey and keep making my life better. And the fact that I have seen someone speak to my mom in such a way that I didn't like, by saying that children raised by single mothers don't amount to anything. Whatsoever she did, I never see it as wrong, because I have vowed to myself that I will tell these people that children raised by a single mother can amount to something, that I am a product of a single mother and I can amount to something, and she could take the thanks. Another reason why I was also making excuses for her was because I quite understand that my father died when I was few months old. So I basically didn't know my father, and she was really young, and I knew the difficulties she passed through trying to run my dad's business, as somebody that doesn't have the certification to run the business, hiring nurses, and the flops and the ups and downs she encountered with the nurses that made it impossible for her to manage the businesses, and finally the business died. That also opened my eyes at a very young age concerning business. In as much as I love education, I love to read, I love to grab knowledge wherever I see it, but I am also a strong believer in business, because that experience, that journey I saw my mom go through trying to run my father's business, which was not a certificate that is under her name, is such an eye-opener, because I realize our certifications is not something that can be handed over, but businesses can be handed over, because for certification you need to qualify for it. It's in the name of the person that did the study, wrote the exam, got the certification. It can't really be transferred like that, except you also go and get your own training and get certified in it. But if it is business, you can easily hand it over or inherit it when the original owner dies, or husband or wife or whatever. So in that sense, I started business at a very young age, which had been a very helping tool in the journey of my life. I was seeing my mom as a role model for the fact that at that young age, the struggle she went through to make sure that she put food on our table and raised us made me respect her. So with this, I didn't really see anything she was doing as bad. Whenever she calls me out, I feel like I did what she said I did. I didn't look into it as a lie. I get confused actually, because some of it I obviously know I didn't do, but instead of me seeing it as a lie, I actually do get confused. Like, did it really happen? Did I? So it was kind of gaslighting. She was kind of gaslighting me as at those period, and because of the fact that I was feeling confused with some of the things she said I did, which obviously I knew I didn't do it. But instead of getting angry at her, I kind of get confused. Did I do it? I started feeling so I couldn't even complain to people because I was in the middle of that confusion if I did it or not. So instead, I took towards the step of working on myself not to do it again, because I really hate doing things that will hurt her or that will make her shout at me or call me out. But regardless of how much I try, whatever I do, I still get called out until today. So this is the much I would say. So this journey is really a tough one. Like I said, the more I try to please, the more I try to be a better person, the more they still call me out on another. But despite all of that, all of those attitudes that they were throwing at me gave me an opportunity to keep on working on myself, and that made me the person that I am today. I didn't really have people that advised me on take this journey in your career, do this. I was just doing things blindly. That I look back at those situations and I realized, wow, I never really did anything bad. As a matter of fact, then my heart was broken. I was devastated. All I needed that time, I really needed mother's hug, mother's advice, but instead she chunked me outside. And that pretty much gave me opportunity to be a wayward child, because along the journey I met gang girls who were my friends, and but no matter how they tried to make me smoke, drink, live Ron's girl's life, I never did that, because that wasn't what I signed up for. I have promised myself that I will be a good girl, and everything I was doing again was to come out brighter, to make sure that I didn't bring shame to my family, to make sure that I am that girl that will say, yes, I am a proud daughter or a single mother that didn't go the wrong way. So a single mother can do quite good, even though she wasn't even thinking that way. But I never even realized she wasn't thinking that way until I become an adult. So my mindset basically shaped my journey, and also the fear of not getting called out. For example, I started my first business quite very young. Despite that, every money I have is declared to my mother. So as a young girl in Africa during festive period, people normally will gift children money and all that. So I do get a lot of money gifts from uncles and aunties and relatives and all that. When I get all this money, I feel scared what I would do with the money, because if I buy stuff like clothes and all that, she will assume that I have gotten a boyfriend and the boyfriend is now buying things for me, and I'll get beaten up. And if I hold the money, she sees the money in my hand, I have to answer question where I get the money. So even though I can say these are money given to me during Christmas and all that, but then because I was scared, I just overthink things, right? So what I do is, all the money I had for Christmas that I have saved, hidden away, I used it to pay for my entrance exam. You know, the funny part of it, because I was scared and I didn't want her to know that I paid for that, because it wasn't yet time for me to write the exam, but I just wanted to invest the money in something. So I had to travel all the way to another state that I didn't even know. And when I was traveling to that state, I didn't even know it was that far to travel to that state until I got into the bus, and I was thinking it was a 30 minutes drive. So I was sent to go and buy stuff. I just hopped on the bus and started going to another state, thinking it was a 30 minutes ride. Unfortunately, it became an hours drive. Like, I think it was like 2 hours drive to this town, and then coming back. By the time I came back, it was evening. This was a girl that was sent out to go and buy something, and it couldn't. I am now imagining how devastated my mom was that day. So I do things out of fear, and at the end of the day, it will become I would do it in the worst. It's a good thing, but I did it in a worse way. So when I came back after hours, just a girl that was sent next door to go buy stuff, she disappeared. When I came back hours, they questioned me. My mom and my brother questioned the hell out of me, beat me, but I refused to say where I went to until the time for me to write the exam. So the time for me to write the exam, I now realize that I have to go back to that same state and actually live there to write the exam. This was the time I now had to confess that I traveled there to buy the exam ticket in that town. So that was how I ended up being in that town. So how did I even get around that solution? We didn't have anybody in that town where I can stay. I don't even have money to rent accommodation in that state to be able to stay and write my exam. So the only option I have is either I go and find my way to write the exam or I forfeit it. And I wasn't ready to forfeit it. And my mom can't be bothered because I put myself into it, right? With the help of my mom's sister's in-laws' children, they linked me up with one of their customers that normally buy African salad from, because that place was her village. So the woman connected me to her mother. So I eventually, long story short, had to go to live with this elderly woman. I guess she was about 80 something years old as at that time. I was so happy to go live with her, helped her out in her house chores, do everything. It was actually nice, living with her and going from her house to the exam hall. So that was basically how I was able to write the exam. But I forgot to say that I received better beating for that thing I did. Anyway, my brother came all the way to visit me while I was writing that exam. Oh, that was so nice. Anyway, that was some of the kind of stubbornness that I displayed. So you see, it's a good stubborn thing because everything I did was out of fear, but I actually do take the best decision just to elevate myself, even though I never knew what I was doing. But I just know that taking this exam will help me, and it did help me, which really was good that I took it at that age before the main time I was supposed to write the exam. I passed it. These are some of the things that I did, just taking opinion by myself to do. Good options. The only difference is that I didn't tell my mom, and I simply didn't tell her because I was scared, because every little thing you will receive better beating. So I didn't know if what I was gonna do will make me receive beating or not, and I don't like to be beaten. So I prefer to take the harsh option to do it. Thanks. I prefer to take the harsh option to do it, and at least as long as I'm not doing bad thing. That's it. So this is the reason why I know that this is a very tricky situation for a young girl, because you need guidance, you need focus, and starting out on the wrong foot might lead to the wrong direction. But like I said, I am happy that she stayed with obviously her boyfriend and had a child now. So hopefully they get married, and she start building her life from there, and things still working out. But it is very important that anybody going through these circumstances should be very positive. The reason why it is very important to be positive is because when you are positive, it will help you to focus on the right thing instead of dwelling on the pains and the whole shenanigans you are going through. Being positive will also keep your head focused on the goal, because that was what happened to me. I wasn't thinking about the whole negativities that I was going through. It was painful, and I thankfully perhaps because I didn't really think it the way this girl thought about it to move out of the house. I was basically gaslighted to be believing it was me, but it helped me to keep working on myself, to become a better part of me that I am today. I don't know if what my life would have been if I had recognized it as mistreatment and acted differently. I don't think I would have been where I am today. You know, the way I handled it has made me encounter so many people, despite the fact that I was treated like that, which can be a disadvantage to many kids not to be looking for love in the wrong places. In my case, because I was focused on the goal, positive about the whole thing, without seeing it as that they are, against me. I was seeing it that I need to improve on the things that they are talking about, and at the end of the day, they are doing me a favor. Not until now I grew older, when I have gone around and I saw the impact that I'm making, and they are still coming back with the old stale news, like as if I am still the girl I was when I was 10 years old. That was when I realized, oh my God, all the while it was not actually me, it was actually them, because no matter how forged and golden that I appear, they still see an unforged girl, because they are completely blinded. This, as an adult, is when I realized that this is narcissism. This is a problem that they need to solve. This is dysfunctionality. That is not me, but them, right? They are just, it's just their issue, not my issue. So and I am so grateful, because the growth and everything has really made me the right person to talk about this, and to encourage anybody that is going through this, that the best way to handle this situation is to be positive, be forgiving. It can get overwhelming sometimes, but your positivity and the love you give out will make way for you. Believe me, before I used to be a people's pleaser because of the way I was being called out, and I was constantly working to please, just the way I was constantly doing everything to be called a good child, to be a good person. It made me a people pleaser. But as time goes on, I started realizing, no, this is not working. All these challenges made me realize things at a very young age. As I am realizing it, I kept building on it, because people took advantage of that, my softness, my soft emotions, my kindness, and I didn't stop being kind. I didn't stop being loving. I didn't stop being whom I am. I never changed any part of me from when I was young, but instead I built myself stronger and become a more positive image to myself, and to help myself get to where I am at today. And along my journey, I have met very nice people that have shown me love, people that had helped me in a way that I never could imagine. I never got anybody guiding me, but because of my good heart, because of the fact that I never think evil about anybody, I never wished anybody bad, I'm always selfless in all my journey. Doors I never thought that would open for me had opened for me. I am one of the persons that will tell you that love do exist. Even the people that I have dated have shown me love. Most people that I have met as friends have shown me love, and some of them are families that I can call to today. They will answer me. Wherever I go, the light shines out. People see me for who I am, because I am actually who I am every day, anytime, even till today. I never changed. This is who I am. I never hide anything, and it's been working for me. So this will be my encouragement to any girl that is going through this, that came from a family that there is dysfunctionality, or there is a Jezebelic spirit at work, or there is a narcissism spirit at work. Because when I was growing up, I didn't realize that was what it was until now. I realize that these are not ordinary. These are Jezebelic spirits, narcissism spirit, witchcraft spirit. They operate in different forms, and they are all under the title of dysfunctionality. They all operate under different umbrella, causing dysfunctionality in families. This pattern has to be broken for you to be happy, but you need to play a very big part in breaking the stereotype by being positive, being loving. Build the part of you that is not working, the part of you that is negative. Keep building, keep growing, keep impacting on yourself, keep feeding yourself positivity. You can't be the best all round. You have some negative aspects of you that you may never be able to change. Accept it and take advantage of it for good, because every negative thing or anything that people see in you that is bad, believe me, if you look inside it, there is a reason why God put that attitude in you. For example, I am being tagged in the family as a very stubborn girl, and I never liked it because to me it's not being stubborn, it's them not understanding me. But today I now realize there are some circumstances that have happened in my life that due to that stubbornness I was able to overcome. Now I realize, oh wow, this feature existed in me for a reason. It is not a disadvantage. It is a feature that was meant to help me become the best version of me. So any thing that exists in you, find the reason why it existed in you. There must be a good reason why God gave you that feature. Use it for good and don't let it drive you down. There are several ways parents can help in changing this dysfunctionality and helping kids than encouraging it. I will talk about it in the next episode. Let me go for my blood test because I think the time is up. At the leisure center, this is where I am making this video. Now I am walking to the clinic where I will have my blood test. Oh God, that feels so good. The weather, the sun, the fresh air. So I've got home now, so let me conclude this video. In terms of how this can lead you to trauma, right? That can lead you to the thought of taking your own life. This is an aspect where you have not completely healed or learned how to deal with the traumas, because sometimes the people you are dealing with hasn't really healed. So being an obedient child, while it pays to be an obedient child, you need to pay attention to your parents' traumas that might still be influencing them to making you miss out, or the possibility of making you miss out in good things coming your way. So there is a thin line between being disobedient, obedient, and making the right decision for yourself. So take note of that, especially when you're dealing with unhealed parents, to heal your own trauma. Align everything and avoid coming to the timeline in your life where they will behave the same way that will get you at that thin line of trying to take your own life, because this happens if you're not healed. So what am I saying? Be an obedient child, but know what you want. Do not harbor hate. Love yourself and focus on the goal. And also make sure that you heal yourself very well, that even though your traumatized parents hasn't really healed, they will not come back to bring back the trauma that will make you question everything that you had already worked on. So I am here where I'm gonna have my blood test. Getting in. So the second part I will talk about is I grew up accepting the labels that was given to me and nurtured my life around them, all to be a better version of myself. Then I didn't heal from the traumas that was inflicted on me, and I also didn't learn how to deal with them properly. I groomed myself around the labels they gave me, the things that were complaining about me. So now I am done with my blood test. As a matter of fact, I was booked in for this blood test yesterday, but because of the global IT outage, they cancelled the appointment that I had yesterday. But luckily enough, I was able to get another appointment booked today, which made it even better because I have to do the ECG and the blood test together. All done. They will send the whole results to my doctor and we shall see exactly if they will find anything that is causing the dizziness, the constant headache, the chest pain and all that, or it is just all the after effect of trauma, depression and all of those. This is why I advise people, don't get yourself into all of those, because it comes with things that you might be going forth and back in the hospital, and they may never find out what was wrong with you or what is wrong with you, because all these things are, it has a way of disorganizing the body. As a matter of fact, it also, just within those weeks of depression and everything, my whole middle hair is gone. As in, it's gone. Stress is bad. It's all gone. So please, manage all those things. I hope you find someone that will help you, and I am here. Just contact me via my email, my website, and I'll be there for you. Okay, I'll show you love. Not even thinking if that was really me or not. Therefore, I really didn't heal. I only learned how to deal with them. So despite the growth and repairs and fixings that I have done, I still face the same people that have not changed, that are not yet healed, and they brought back the same attitude, still thinking that I am the 10 years old girl that I used to be, right? So this resurrected the old trauma. This is where you need to pay attention to to make sure that you are very well healed, because dysfunctionality and family trauma is not generally recognized sometimes, and this is the reason why it is not sometimes dealt with in the right way. So it continues lingering around from generation to generation, causing havoc in one or more of every member of the family, or can even go alongside the lineage, which will become a kind of you can call it a curse, or you can call it generational curse or something like that. So you need to pay attention to this. Heal yourself inside out by going to therapy, and I believe that by the grace of God you will overcome. See you in the next episode. So in case if you're wondering my relationship with my mom today, I love her equally regardless. I can only tell her the truth, what I see, not all the truth, because sometimes if I tell all the truth, she might she like cursing anyway. So I can't change her being my mom, and it doesn't stop me from loving her regardless of the pain, regardless of the hurt, regardless of the situation. She is still my mom, and I still love her all the same. And whatever she needs from me, I'm gonna do that if it's within my capacity. Okay, it's up to her how she wants to heal.